I have lots of dreams where I'm being eaten by things. I used to have dreams where dinosaurs would chase me and I would like hide in the basement and then it would like bust in, and because I was in the basement there was nowhere I could go and it would just corner me and kill me.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I had dreams where I was in the woods and just some guy would walk up with a knife and stab me to death.
I had a
Like
dream like that. I remember when I was a kid, there we had like the woods in our house. Somebody would spray paint, and my brother and his friends started to scare me. Be like, "It's a spray paint, man!"
yeah.
I had a lot of nightmares of him killing me.
Mine was my nightmare, the reoccurring nightmare I had from like age like 4 to 10 was I was on this bus by myself and I wind up at this like cornfield and I'm like, wait, my parents are supposed to be here and no one's there. And I'm just in a cornfield and a fucking werewolf just chases me through the entire dream, and then it finally catches me and pins me to the ground and reaches into my stomach and starts pulling things out, and I'm just laying on the ground screaming in pain.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah, that was a reoccurring dream that really
The
fucking made me love werewolves, which is why we watched The Howling. Because we wanted to watch Dog Soldiers, but for some fucking reason, it's not on the internet anymore.
Yeah, we search on Google where to watch this movie.
I signed up for Shudder because Shudder told me they had Dog Soldiers, and then I get on Shudder and it goes, no, we don't have Dog Soldiers.
And you can even buy it from Amazon.
I know, you can't buy it off Amazon. Anything. Google, Apple.
They're trying to blacklist this movie.
It was on YouTube, but it was only in 360p.
Yeah, I won't put myself through that.
And that movie's majority in the dark, so you're going to see like those weird gray squares because 360p can't.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. So we watched The Howling instead, 1981.
Yeah.
Definitely top 3 werewolf movies ever made. This one was awesome. I liked it a lot.
Oh, it picked up halfway through.
Yeah, it starts off really
It's a slow burn. I would call it a slow burn.
I wouldn't call it a slow burn. I would just call it builds the scene really well, and then everything pops.
Well, it does what movies used to do. They build characters.
Yeah, they let you know, like, hey, this is this girl, this is this guy, that's the creepy old man, that's the corrupt cop. Okay, you have all your players, and boom, werewolves. It's fucking awesome.
Everybody's a werewolf.
Everybody but the main character.
It's like a whole fucking town.
I know. It's like that video, what was it? Lichen Colony or whatever that Red Letter Media did a video on, like some shitty fucking thing where these werewolves live in this town where the well is near a silver mine, so like there's silver in the drinking water, which keeps them from being werewolves. But then one day the well dries up and the town it's fucking terrible. Like they saw The Howling and went, we can do that, and they just failed miserably.
I feel like might be a cool concept, but
again, really cool on paper. That's the thing about werewolf movies. They're so cool on paper, but if you execute them poorly, you wind up with American Werewolf in Paris. Not London. London's perfect.
I haven't seen the Paris one.
It's so bad. That one gave me nightmares.
London?
Both. I saw Paris, just the scene where they're transforming in the cathedral, like one night at like midnight, and then I don't know, maybe it was my child brain, but I heard wolves howling in the swamp across the street, and I was like, I'm fucking dead. Werewolves are going to get me. So I slept with my head near the door, figuring if when they kick in the door and they attack me, I'd rather them attack my head first. That way I die, rather than attack my feet.
We have such a different... Like, when I was a kid, when I had scary things like this, I was always like all right, you need to learn how to figure out how to battle this. You're like, I'm just going to find the fastest way to die.
Yes, because it's a fucking werewolf. Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't have a silver bullet handy, so, like, fuck it. Just kill me. Get it over with. That was my entire childhood has just been figuring out, like, okay, so if this happens, I want to die as fast as possible. Like, that was my childhood. Yeah. That's why you're fat and I'm skinny. That's why...
I build myself up to be...
You're all defense. I'm like, just get it over with. Cleaver to the forehead. That'll work. Yeah, but we watched The Howling.
So this movie pretty much starts out with what? She's going to the town because there's...
It's like a 1980s, like, grimy New York, and she's, like, doing the undercover cop thing to bust this serial killer, like, Son of Sam style serial killer. And, she goes to, like, a weird porno thing.
Yeah, and back when they used to have the arcades and all that. Everywhere.
Not Third Strike arcades.
If you got one.
Video arcades. If you got a Third Strike arcade, send it to me.
P.O. box in the corner.
Yeah. Just, I won't pay you. Yeah, so like it's like a Son of Sam kind of guy. He's like murdering women. They say it's animalistic or whatever. And she goes to meet him in the video arcade. She's wearing a wire. Her husband doesn't have her. She didn't take her husband's last name, which is kind of explains why he did what he did later on in the movie. But I think so. When you marry a woman, you own her. She takes your last name. You're not gonna. You're gonna take Patty's last name, aren't you?
She wants it hyphenated.
Nope.
Nope. Anyway.
Nope. You can cut that out.
You're what's wrong with America.
No, I'm not.
This is all saying
Ooh, it. Tradition is bad. Anyway. I'm not wearing my Rome shirt, so I can't even just like harken back to the glory days. Now I got Vincent Price on my tummy.
That's probably good because you're dragging it on.
Yep. It's almost like I want you to cut it, so I'm dragging it on. Yeah, so she goes to the porno booth, right? Oh, first she goes to the phone booth, and we talked about how you think phone booths are scary. I think they're cool.
No, it's not in certain areas.
No shit.
You're just being in
hold on. You're not scared of the phone booth then. You're scared of the area. You don't want to put yourself in a box.
Pretty much. You're just so vulnerable.
I know. But like a phone booth in NK? Yeah. Phone booth.
Like imagine if you're seeing somebody like just charging at you in a phone, just knocking the shit over.
Well, no, they're bolted to the ground.
Fucking juggernaut, bro.
Fucking PCP. It is the 80s, so there's probably a naked guy walking around on PCP that wants to make it your problem.
Punches it and just
shatters it.
How fucked up would that be if you're in a phone where somebody just punches it once?
It's called Psycho 3. No, 2? 3? 2? 2?
Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn. That was a trivia question, and I was the only one that got it right at bar trivia.
Huh. Anyway.
Because I think it's Vince Vaughn's first movie.
I don't know. But yeah, she's in the phone booth doing a thing. They lose connection, and she ends up
in the porno place, and she goes
smiley face stickers.
Yep, she sees smiley face stickers, which are important. And it turns out the serial killer is none other than the Doctor from Voyager, Star Trek.
And guess who he is?
He's the serial killer and the werewolf. So I think what happens in that scene is we only see it from Karen's point. Like, we're looking at Karen, but I think he starts to transform in the phone booth.
Yeah, behind her. Yeah. That's why he's like, don't look at me. Then all of a sudden he's like, oh, you can look.
Yeah, because he's all werewolfed out. And then a rookie cop and the oldest cop ever run in and shoot. They just shoot.
DeVito just came in and started blasting.
They just blast into the phone booth and they kill the serial killer. And they're like, well, it's the 80s. No paperwork needs to be filed.
We did it.
We killed the serial killer. You're welcome.
Captain's like, thanks for making this an easy job,
right?
Guys.
Basically, make sure you defund us in 40 years. And then, right? Because, hey, they stopped the serial killer. Maybe we should get rid of him. Yeah, I know. ACAB, Chad.
I don't know what that means.
All cops are bastards. ACAB, ACAB. Yeah. See, I think it stands for all criminals are black, but that's just me.
I think it made me pay attention. It's my least favorite part of editing, having to look out for your racism.
They started it.
It's not even a joke. That is my least favorite part of editing.
Yeah, but you can just look to the part where we're going, yeah. And then, I give you triggers. I give you signals.
No, it's not bad with the short videos. Lord of the Rings, I'm like, fuck. I sit through an hour and a half of us talking.
Yeah, but come on, man. How do you not talk about Lord of the Rings for an hour? Yeah, so they shoot the guy dead, and Karen has like some PTSD things going on, so she decides to go to like a mountain retreat, and I think it's like Appalachia, I would assume. New York, and she goes down to like West Virginia.
Yeah, she goes back to work, and then she has flashbacks.
Yeah, she has panic attacks, and
so she like runs out, and like, you need a break.
You need a fucking break. A serial killer werewolf, maybe, tried to kill you, so you need to go hang out in the woods with werewolves. So she takes her scumbag husband.
He was not a scumbag.
He turned into a scumbag by the end of the movie.
That's what happens when you get bit by a werewolf.
Remember when he hit her? Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Scumbag husband. Right. Scumbag husband.
But he was all werewolfed up.
Doesn't matter. Because he was thinking about it. So they go to this weird, like, bluegrass bonfire. I wish I was in Dixie. I can't believe you didn't know that was our outro song. I thought you did that because you know I like that
No,
song.
it's just a happy coincidence.
And you were playing it off like, nah, Chris, I didn't do that for you. And I was like, wow, my pal Chad really cares about me. But it turns out you're just stupid. Yeah, so they go to a bluegrass carnival on the beach. And
it's when the old dude's like,
the old guy's like, I can't do it anymore. I want to die.
The whole scene, you're just watching, like, damn, it's some sad old man.
Yeah, I was like, that's me at a party. Because he just looked upset the whole time.
Like, why am I here?
Fucking music sucks. And the sand's fucking hot. And fuck the ocean.
It's everywhere.
Fucking... That's the worst part. What is it? Is that the line? The sand, it gets everywhere?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow, Anakin, I'm in love with you now.
Sand.
Killed them. The men, the women. Oh my god, she did kill them. The men, the women, the children. Actually, there were no kid werewolves. That's what this movie lacks. Kid werewolves. That's a concept no one's ever done. Kid werewolves.
We're doing it.
Okay, trademark. Copyright. 20.
You can't fucking... If you copy us...
This is a legal and binding verbal contract. Child werewolves is my idea.
If you use it, share this video.
Like and subscribe. So they go to the party. The old man has a freak out. The sex goddess is hitting on the husband. That's what she is, right? What?
Oh, my beer.
But she was a sex goddess.
Yes.
She was super hot, and she wanted to fuck everybody. Yeah, the sex goddess hits on the husband, and he's like, I'm here with my wife. And she goes, so? You know, and it's like, that's my girl.
It's like,
yeah?
So is that guy. And he's like,
do it, bro. Like that Hercules panel where Raven Cho is hitting on the Atlantean girl. And he's like, I don't know what Hercules would do. And he looks out the window and Hercules has his thumbs up. Did you ever read the Hercules ongoing? It was really, really fucking good.
Really?
They do one where Hercules and Thor switch places for a day.
I heard about that.
And Hercules just goes around fucking everybody and shit. And Thor's like, stop. And he's like, fuck you, bro. I'm Thor. He fucks the dark elf queen and shit like that. Like,
solved all the wars.
Basically, he was a better Thor than Thor, and he was funnier too. There's one where Hercules gets blasted with a laser and he's completely naked. And Gravity's like, don't you want to put clothes on? And he's like, why? Just standing there like ripped and naked. Like, why would I put clothes on? I'm fucking Hercules.
I need a Hercules movie.
Yeah, it'll never happen. Hercules movie starring...
Joe Butler, like 25 years ago.
I was going to say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Because they have to be that dumb, strong, like dumb, like frat boy kind of thing. Because that's what Hercules was. Anyway, back to the Howling.
What?
Yeah. So they have the party. It's all weird. Then they decide to sleep in a cabin with the window open. And she hears fucking werewolves. And tries to wake the husband up, and he's like, shut up, bitch. And he goes back to bed. And instead of shutting the window, she just goes back to bed.
I guess.
Nothing
there's spooky out
there's
there.
Monsters outside. Better keep the portal to my household open. You know? And then the husband goes hunting with some good old country boys. And one guy who's totally a werewolf. Because he was running around in nothing but a fur vest.
Doing no.
Yeah, just doing... And it's like, you're a werewolf. I don't care if this ain't a werewolf movie. You're a fucking werewolf. And he kills a rabbit, and they're all like, well, make a hunter of him soon. You know, kind of foreshadowing what happens. And then the wife goes to... Karen goes to, like, a retreat, and she has, like, a panic attack. And then it cuts to a news reporter and this guy named Chris, who's the hero of the movie. Because, come on, Chris, hero, goes hand in hand. And
you forget about the scene when he has to go. He's like, you need to eat the rabbit. You can't just kill it. And then he goes to the wife, and the wife ends up hitting on him there.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not into... Well, no, that's when he gets bit. But I'm talking about before all that. We have to go to the reporter and Christopher. The chick, Stacy, I think her name was.
Yeah.
And they're doing research on the Son of Sam killer-esque guy, and they break into his apartment, remember? And they see, like, this guy is a savant when it comes to charcoal drawings. Like, holy shit, the guy is so good with charcoal, and it's just drawings of werewolves in the
landscapes.
Woods. And landscapes, and a drawing of Karen.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah. And They're like, what the fuck?
And this is the guy that followed her to the
porno store. Yeah, the Son of Sam killer. I'm just gonna keep calling him that because I don't know what else to call him. They go to an occult bookshop, and they meet Dick Miller.
They had to put the scene where they have the two nuns walking by, and they both look at each other and go, eh.
That's
And they walk in.
That's an Exorcist 3 kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, where the priest goes and sees a horror movie and shit. You know. It's a Wonderful Life is not a horror movie. Anyway, they go see It's a Wonderful Life in that movie. It's not a horror movie. Anyway, I had to correct myself. So they go to Dick Miller's occult shop, and if anyone has ever watched a horror movie, they know who the fuck Dick Miller is, because he's in everything.
I'll put anything up in this video, you're gonna see a picture of his face.
Dick
right
Miller
here.
died last year. No,
Really?
2 years ago, 2019.
That's sad.
Yeah, one of the legends for sure. Definitely one of those like under, like everyone knows him. We don't have to do it.
I'm not.
Okay. So yeah, Dick Miller runs this like occult bookstore, and he basically explains to him, and he's like, "Listen, that whole thing about the full moon, that's bullshit. Werewolves can transform at any point in time they want. You know."
That's a weird concept too. Like, you don't really see
they're called shapeshifters.
Yeah.
You know, so like they should be able to shapeshift whenever they want. The whole adding the full, so they get rid of the full moon myth, but they keep the silver bullet myth, which I thought was weird.
I like it.
Yeah. But if
it's like one of those things where like traditions passed down so long that some of them are real. It's like the foam.
What's the one with that X-Files episode where Mulder gets attacked by a vampire, and it turns out if you're a vampire, you're OCD. So he throws a bunch of shit on the floor, and the vampire's like, "God damn it!" And he has to like clean it up, and then he does the cross with breadsticks.
Well, it's even like the Dracula show on Netflix. He won't do certain things because supposedly vampires can't do it, and then the Nunley is like, "How do you know that's all even real? Yeah. How do you know you can't just walk in here right now without my permission?" And he's like, "I don't want to test it."
Yeah. Also, vampires, like in the original Dracula, they could turn into wolves. They would turn into wolves instead of bats originally. And then werewolf vampire kind of split.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
But yeah, so where are we? Guy won't eat the rabbit. They break into the house. They start doing research on this. They learn a bunch of shit about werewolves, and then it cuts back to Karen. And she's having a nightmare about the killing, and her husband is out fucking the sex goddess.
Yeah.
And they both... Oh, no, he got attacked by a werewolf.
Yeah, he was going through the woods, and we're like, that's not creepy with all that fog and everything going around.
Yeah, it was like foggy. It was blue lit. It was like super obvious what was going to happen. And then, he gets bit on the shoulder by a wolf. Or he's like, "I got bit by a wolf." And then she's like, "Oh, that sucks." And they like clean up the wound. And then he goes out at night and fucks the sex goddess. And they do a weird like... What did he say? They animated that scene because they didn't know how to do it because they were building the costume.
No, the animated scene was when they're in the fire.
When they're fucking. No, that was the stop motion scene.
Oh, no. Yeah, the animated scene was at the fire.
Yeah, when they're fucking.
And you have like the red tint going around them. And you're like...
Rotoscoped as fuck, you know?
You didn't need to do that.
But...
We got the picture.
Hold on, they explained it why. They didn't have costumes because they were making the costumes. The special effects in this movie were being made as it was filmed.
Yeah, but I still feel like we could have imagined what was happening.
Yeah, but it's the 80s.
You gotta have wolves fucking.
You gotta have tits, you gotta have sex, you gotta have murder.
There's a lot of tits in this movie.
Fucking sex goddess is naked half the movie. She's gonna be pissed if she ever watches this video.
Well, she might be complimented on our compliments we're giving to her. You call me a goddess?
Cum goddess, you know? Like,
oh my God.
Who did I say was a beautiful Gwyneth Paltrow?
I don't think she's that good looking.
She's super hot when she was like a kid in Miss Doubtfire and Jumanji. That's when I was in. We can leave that part out.
She wasn't in Jumanji. That was fucking Kirsten Dunst.
Shit. Well,
and I remember being a kid having a crush on Kirsten Dunst.
I
saw Bring It On, and I was like,
sold.
That's a Spider-Man with that scene when she's in the rain, the pink shirt on. Anyway, the Howling.
So Gwyneth Paltrow.
No.
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, what's happened now is husband is fully into the werewolf lifestyle. He's like, I'm
It's
in
like,
it.
it's kind of chill.
And he walks in on his wife, and he's like changing his shirt, and she's like, "Where'd you get those scratches on your back?" And he's like, "Shut up, don't talk about it." And then he hits her.
He was
Yeah,
like, they were there for the other night. She's like, no, they weren't. He's like, shut up, bitch.
and just and then she's like crying, and he has a moment to be like, "I fucked up," and he doubles down. He just becomes more of a dick
Because he's like, she can't know.
and then he like shakes her, and she runs away. She runs to the doctor to be like, "Doctor, help me."
Then they have the scene where he's like changing lanes without the blinkers.
No, that's way later. And then the doctor's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, whatever." And then the
Oh,
reporter,
I'm thinking about the reporter guy.
the reporter lady shows up to investigate this lichen colony because somehow she sees a picture of like an inlet, and no, it's like the scene from The Last Jedi or whatever with the Sith blade. It's like, yeah, okay.
Wait, this looks vaguely familiar.
Well, I guess we have to have a reason for the characters to be there, you know? What if it's a picture? Yeah, sure, fine, fuck it. So she winds up in the doctor's office, and she gets fucking wrecked by a werewolf. Oh no! First she goes to the cabin in the woods.
Sees all the stuff, then she goes to the thing.
And she gets attacked by the werewolf, and she's hiding under like the brush pile or something. Like there's things on the stone wall, and she hacks the werewolf's hand off.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
And like the hand, you see it like turn from a wolf hand back into a
I
human.
like how we're watching it. And I'm like, I hope that hand like dissolves.
Then it starts to like bend in on itself and dissolve and like pulsate.
Like, cool.
Yeah, every time
Didn't they do it air pumps in this movie?
They did a lot of air pumps. You were every time you were like, I hope this happens. It would happen. This was like,
yeah, this was like a movie written by Chad.
Yeah, where you're just like,
better.
This should happen next, and then it happens, and you're like, yeah, and they nailed it. Fucking. So she runs to the doctor's office to tell the doctor she just cut a werewolf's hand off, and
I would have taken the hand.
The serial killer from the beginning of the movie shows up. Well, not really. He's still got the bullets in his head. Right.
Well, he's conscious.
He pries the bullet.
That was
out.
so fucked up. They just he confronts her and then he's like, "Look at this."
Yeah, and he like pulls the fucking lead bullet out of his skull, and he's like screaming while he does it, and she's like, "Whoa!" And then he transforms into a werewolf, and probably
it takes like so long,
but like
worth it.
Like the throat's bulging and the cheeks and the forehead,
the condom air pump.
Yeah, and like the shoulders like cracking, and like you see the ribs and like the snout.
I will say that show Hemlock Grove did a good job of showing like how fucking painful it would be the
better than
Ever
this.
seen Hemlock Grove though?
No, I don't want to.
I'll show you the transformation.
Better than this?
No, I like this is more.
This is probably the best. Like next to it.
Well, that was CGI. This is practical effects,
Yeah,
so it always looks
which
more.
Is way.
It always looks way more brutal.
Like the fact that it was practical effects, and there is a man wearing a mask of his face that's like pulsating, you know.
And the actor's like, I couldn't even breathe at one point.
Yeah, he passed out because he couldn't breathe, but he stayed in care. That's Robert Picardio. He was the doctor on Star Trek Voyager, the only good character on Voyager. Literally the only. I watched all of Voyager, and the only reason I kept watching it is because of the doctor. Voyager is a terrible, terrible Star Trek show.
It's nothing like Picard.
It's actually better than Picard. It's better. It's better than STD, and it's better than Picard. Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
Okay. God, did you see Prophecy is coming out?
They're just making a bunch of fucking crazy shit.
Just stop. Let it die. Please let it die. It's like it's Star Trek. Just let it, or Star Wars. Just let it die. Please. Please stop killing. It's like you're beating the thing I love to death. It's on the ground.
We'll have a Star Wars
crumpled
video.
heap. It's on the ground in a crumpled heap, and Mr. Exec is still punching it.
No, we're gonna have our Star Wars video. I already have it planned out.
I already Anyway, back to the Howling. So
call that a fucking toad.
So the super hot reporter lady gets fucking murdered, which sucked because I liked her.
Yeah, she was a better lead.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be the lead. I kept waiting for Karen to die. So Stacy gets fucking killed. It was really cool because we watched a little thing before this. Because I was like, dude, we have to figure out how they did the transformation scene, because it was like they have like the hand and it like the fingers elongate and then the nails shoot out. It was so cool looking.
I had to know if we were right about a lot of it.
Yeah.
And we were pretty
right. They did some things that I wouldn't have thought to do, like the condom airbag.
I didn't think it was a condom. I thought they were just like shooting air in it. It was just like
And they just made that
shoot
rubber
the air,
little...
let it go. Shoot the
Yeah,
air, let it
but
go.
it was a condom that they were filling with air and then
Yeah,
just like
kind of the same. Was
just pump, 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 like a... Yeah.
Ours is more sophisticated.
Ours was set with... They were doing it in the 80s. We were
Yeah.
doing it with this mindset. But yeah, so the werewolf... Like, at first when they were filming this scene, they were using a puppet head and puppet arms, and they realized that looked like trash. But because
They melded it together pretty well.
they didn't have the werewolf costume until the very end of the movie. This movie is seriously like seat of your pants, like rebel filmmaking. Like as we get the stuff, we film it, kind of filmmaking.
Like Evil Dead.
Yeah.
They ran out of money halfway through.
They had to ask for more money, and the guy was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Look at this." And they were like, "That looks like shit." And they were like, "Yeah, we can make it better. Give us more money." And they were like, "Okay." Like that's what it was.
It's so funny too. Like you see the scenes where they're using the handheld thing, but it's just like seeing the full body just gives you
the full body werewolf costumes. They went for like a traditional kind of werewolf with like the long tongue and the long snout, but a very skinny body.
Ears.
Like,
well, they made a point in the thing. They say like wolves have like small arms, small
they're
legs,
small frames,
but they fucking massive, ripped, like,
and their jaws are fucking powerful. Like what was that movie? Underworld. All the werewolves were like jacked, like bodybuilder werewolves, and it's. Like,
I remember wanting to like that movie so much.
I liked the first one because of Kate Beckinsale.
The tight fucking Matrix leg.
Dude, I cranked so many out as a. So she gets murdered by the werewolf, who's the serial killer from the beginning of the movie. But while she's getting murdered, she called Christopher, who's the coolest character in the movie. Just Christopher, super cool guy. And he hops in his and he hears her getting killed over the phone, right? So he hops in his Mazda, and he fucking peels out.
It was a Porsche, because the guy's like, "I got a Mazda, and you're driving a Porsche."
No, he said, not some of us are working guys. Not all of us get to drive a Mazda or whatever.
I don't know.
He gets in his Mazda and he drives down after hearing her getting killed on the phone, and then it cuts to Karen running into the doctor's office to be like, "I'm freaking out, my husband's cheating on me or whatever, help."
Let me get the longest transformation scene ever.
No, that was the first one. Stacy, he doesn't get to transform that fast in this one, like, because he starts to transform and she fucking throws acid on his face and then runs out of the building, which is like,
this is when he was super rapey towards her.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And he's like, "Fuck," and she runs away, and I think she gets captured, right? She winds up getting taken to the barn. I forget how she gets captured.
No, she's driving and the cops in the middle of the road.
Oh, yeah.
And they stop her. They're like, "Hey, what's wrong? Oh, we're going to just take you now."
Yeah,
she's like,
they take her
"Okay,
to
I
the
guess.
Barn. Yeah, we'll take you to safety," and they take her to the barn. Then Chris shows up at the doctor's office after buying silver bullets from Dick, and he's like, "It's go time." And then the werewolf shows up, but he's not werewolfed yet. He's still the guy, but like they're showing how like they can't die because like his face is like rotting off and he's got like this gooey shit in his hair, and
He's
it's
like, "Guess what I got, motherfucker."
and the guy he's up against the door, and the werewolf punches through the glass and steals the gun and then gives it back to him and is like, "Go ahead, try it." And he goes, "Okay." Shoots him in the chest and he dies.
I love the expression too. It's like, "Fuck."
Oh.
Every time a werewolf gets hurt in this movie, it's like, "Oh shit."
Like they didn't believe, like with that one guy, "Silver bullets my ass," and he shoots him twice and he's like, "Oh fuck, it's real." So they take the girl to the barn, and basically the doctor's like, "Listen, we gotta not be stupid about this. Once people figure out we're werewolves, they're gonna kill us."
And then all of them are like, "No, let's fuck things up.
Fuck you, let's kill them." And the sex goddess is like, "Your time is up," and like makes the doctor not in charge anymore. And I think they're gonna like eat the girl, maybe. I don't know what's happening.
I think they were gonna turn her.
Maybe, I don't know. But then Chris shows up and he's like, "This has silver bullets," and they're like, "Fuck you," and he starts he kills the dude in the vest.
I still don't think a doctor was a werewolf.
I think the doctor was.
I think he was just under that control, and they're like, "If you fucking do anything, we'll kill
No,
you."
but he was talking about how like back in the day it was easier, but times have changed. He's talking about like back in the 1400s, I assume.
Maybe
when you could just kill a village of people and no one would know because the internet and telephones and shit.
Maybe.
Because when he gets shot in the chest, he goes, "Thank you, God."
Yeah.
Like, finally, my torment's over.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, Chris just starts fucking wrecking werewolves left and right. Um,
Locks him in the fucking
barn and sets it on fire, which was cool.
to get the nice stop motion
Yeah, you
scene.
get some stop motion animation of the werewolves burning to death, and then his car runs out of gas, and they get attacked by the cops. The cop who turns out to be a werewolf shoots at the car twice, and it blows up. And Chris like he's like, get down, and they fire twice at him, and then he pops up and kicks open the door and just bow and shoots the cop.
And then we have the most unrealistic scene in movies.
A police car that won't start.
It's like you had to throw the biggest cliche in horror movies, but a police car.
Yeah, like,
there was no way. Oh shit! I gotta get this Robert.
Yeah,
who just hit the engine? It'll go a little better.
Yeah, no. Police cars, if they don't start, then you can't do any policing, can you? You know, like a police car's gonna start.
But you had to have the cool scene of all the werewolves attacking the car. Like, I broke that window easily before, but now we're just like, duh.
No, they were just pounding on it at first, but then that one werewolf was like, all right, fuck it. And he just punches through the glass in the back. And Chris is like shooting out the fucking windshield, shooting out the back of the car. And then he's like, here. And he gives the gun to Karen. And he steps on the gas. And then a werewolf crawled in the back and fucking bites Karen on the shoulder. And she fucking blows his head off.
It's fucking husband.
It's the husband because he's got that gay tattoo. Oh, it turns out Karen was a news reporter, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that, but that's her job.
I think we did mention it.
No, we didn't. Because at the end of the movie, Karen live on TV to convince people that werewolves are real.
We did mention it. Remember we said she went on the news and she had the panic attack, ran off?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Fucking idiot.
All right, whatever. So she's on the news and she figures the only way to get people to, like, be convinced that werewolves are a thing is to transform live on TV.
This was my favorite I was right moment too. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, no. Because I'm thinking of movies nowadays that wouldn't do this.
Or they would, and it would cut to like
the crowd being like, oh.
No, it would cut to what's that song at the end of The Matrix?
Fuck you, I like that song, Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, it would cut to Rage Against the Machine or like Kid Rock or something.
Bah with the bah. We're gonna say stop.
And then Kid Rock is like,
relevant?
I heard him! Lawyer, quick!
Oh, they're making fun of me? Damn.
Maybe I shouldn't have been so shitty. Yeah. So she like transforms, but she doesn't look like a scary werewolf. She kind of looks kind of cute.
Yeah, because she had the good in her, and she didn't want to give in to the...
Like a cuddly werewolf. But still, Chris somehow smuggled a gun into work, shoots her dead. And then it does the best thing. It cuts to a bar where one guy's like, shit, man, the things they do with special effects. And the other guy goes, no, I'm pretty sure that was real. And
you're just drunk.
And he goes, still was real, though. And then that's it, you know? It's such a good, like some people are like, yeah, that was real. And other people are like, it's fake, but it doesn't matter. The world keeps moving. Werewolves are real. Oh, well.
Oh.
The Howling was really good. I definitely put it in it's definitely my top 3 werewolf movies.
At least for transformation wise.
I thought the plot and everything was great too.
Yeah.
The characters, this one lacks characters, unlike American Werewolf and Dog Soldiers. Like, it lacks characters.
Well, there's a lot of characters in this movie.
But what I mean is, like, characters with personality. Like, Sex Goddess is Sex Goddess. And the only reason I'm calling, like, the only reason she's, like, a member... And fucking Vest Boy. You know? Like, and Doctor. Like, but with Dog Soldiers, you have Spoonie, who, when he's nailing the door shut, a werewolf...
Spoilers, bro.
He has a hammer, and he's like nailing the door shut to keep the werewolves out, and a werewolf's head busts through, and without a thought, just starts smashing it with the hammer. Like, Spoonie's...
That's cool.
Yes. He's like, and then it busts, and he's just... Gah! Yeah. Dog Soldiers is an awesome, like, frantic...
If you have a way to watch Dog Soldiers...
Let us know. I want to watch it.
If you have a DVD, send it to us.
I want to watch it.
I won't see it.
I bet you it's on the Five and Below over there. I bet you it's on the bargain bin, like DVD spot.
I wonder if they even have it at Walmart.
Probably. It's probably in that giant crate. But yeah, Howling, 1981. Really good werewolf movie if you're into werewolves. If you're not into werewolves, probably not going to be your thing, quite honestly.
Yeah, like I said, the beginning has kind of a slow burn.
Stop using that term.
Slow burn.
Slow burn is like what fucking Studio A24 nerds say. Hereditary was good because it was a slow burn. Hereditary was okay.
I liked Hereditary.
That took too long. Witch
is a slow burn, bro.
Yeah, Witch is a dude. The Witch is a slow burn. No, The Witch is a suspense movie. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's a new word for suspenseful.
But this movie didn't really have a lot of suspense. It spent the first like half an hour.
All right, a slow burn is a better way of putting the beginning's fucking kind of boring until it gets to the good.
But that's the only downside of this movie is the characters. Like they spend the first half of the movie introducing you to the characters, but the characters just are kind of whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And then the next half of the movie is them fighting werewolves, and you're like, sick, but it's like, whatever. I don't really like Karen that much. I don't give a shit about her husband.
Yeah, I'll admit the only likable character died. The brunette girl.
Yeah, the reporter.
She's cute.
Yeah, she's cute. I liked Chris. Chris was pretty cool. Chris showed up and was like, okay, you giving me my gun back? I like that scene. You guys like try it. Chris just cocks it and shoots. Like no like monologue or anything. Just does what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. The music was whatever.
Yeah, the music was very generic.
This movie's all about the special effects. The special effects are amazing.
Yeah.
Like really good. Not a lot of blood in this movie.
No, the bloody scene, the only really, like they had like the clothing with the blood up, but the only like gory scene was when the hand gets chopped off. That was the
and
goriest.
When she's getting bit on the throat when the reporter's getting murdered. And her corpse at the end of the movie is all like torn up.
Yeah, there was a scene where you have a fucking rib showing
you
and
can
stuff.
see her ribs exposed. Yeah, really good werewolf movie. Wish we could have watched Dog Soldiers. So.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
One day.